So I've been searching Google on how to remove the CV joint out of the axle, and I'm looking at my service manual now. It says, onboard joint, inspect for faulty movement and wear. Inspect ball bearing while rotating. Do not try to disassemble. So on Google, on Honda Tech, every service manual says to not disassemble the CV side. But there's a lot of people that says they do it all the time at Honda, and you pretty much just hit the joint until it pops off, until it slides the circlip off the axle shaft from the CV joint, which is what I did, because that's how I popped it off at the track. I'm just trying to figure out how to properly take it off and how to properly put it back on. So I guess we just kind of put it back on the same way we took it off. So this is my axle that came out of the red car before I upgrade to Insanes, because I broke the other side twice. This is the passenger side, so I'm gonna need the joints off for this one. And this is, what is this? This is the other side of the CRX axle that I broke the cup on, which is this side. This cup right here exploded when I launched, and I ended up taking off the other end so I could cup my CRX driver side, so we can drive it to the track. Right before I even try to swap this one, I want to see if I could somehow get this one to click back on. I'm sorry if it's hard for you guys to see on the GoPro, but this axle has a circlip on it right here, and this circlip right here is what locks the shaft in the CV joint. Right, once again, you can't really see it on the inside, but there's a little groove on the inside where the circlip sits. So I was thinking of just squeezing the circlip right here, just so that it could fit into the diameter of this hole, right? And then let it slide all the way in until the circlip kind of snap back into its groove. Or maybe I can hammer it, or maybe okay, well, that just popped back in, locked into place. Look at this, it does not come out, moves freely. That's good news. Boot slides over. The other side is going to be pretty damn simple, because all it is really is just swap the cups over. Gotta clean that. It's important that if your axle explodes or if you're rebuilding it, put the bearings on the correct way so the taper part that comes up here faces out. Simple enough here. I need the cup, so that's all I'm going to take off from this axle. Oh wow, this is actually the broken cup. You see how it's broken right there? Damn. So I came to my storage real quick to find a couple of things. I need to see if I have a throttle body for the KRX, but most importantly, I got to figure out what axles I have and what I can use, because I guess I didn't remember that the cup on the good axle was broken. And I did mention that I want to take the wagon to Race Wars, right? But if the wagon doesn't work out, the plan B was to take the KRX to the track. I got slicks for all motors, so I can run the CRX for fun. So right now I'm just, like I said, go through my boxes. Goddamn 18s are freaking heavy, my boy. See what I have in here. Let me see. This is a good Insane axle, but this is not the side that I need. This is a B series front axle. Insane, empty. What is this? This is hold on a second. Hold on a second. Wait up. What is this? This is passenger. This has to be passenger because this was rubbing on my exhaust system right here, this little silver part. Wait a second. Let me see. Lengthwise. Yeah, it's about the same. Okay, well, looks like we got a good cup here, I hope. Is it broken? Cannot tell. But I'm taking that. And I'm probably gonna... I don't feel the need to take this one. My insane. This is a good insane. But I know the inside and stuff doesn't work on the wagon one because I've tried at the track and they are different. Or at least the tripod side is different. I don't know if the CV side is the same. But I need a cup, not a CV. I mean, that's my only choice. And then those back there are stock front axles. Okay, so I did bring some stuff from the house to put here in the storage that I'm not going to be needing, so I got to offload that real quick, and I need to see what throttle bodies I have lying around. I just realized that my insane axle is 3/4 extended, because when I lay on top of the other long axle, let me see here, so this is maxed out in the cup, and this is literally maxed out on the other side of the cup. So I cannot use this axle, and I'm gonna have to take apart this good axle right here to use this cup on this axle to get this one in the wagon. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do that. If anybody has wagon inner cups, a couple of them, or even a wagon driver's side axle, left side axle, let me know if you guys want to sell it. I'll be more than willing to buy, because I need spare axles, because you guys see all the broken ones I have here. And hit me up on my social medias, which is always in the description below. I got a universal Doorman CV joint boot kit, and this comes with a grease pack, comes with a universal boot, and 2 straps. I'm gonna use like 1/4 of this in the joint I just replaced, and then I'm gonna use the rest of this package for the CV side, even though they both have grease already. I mean, if I don't use it, what am I gonna do with it, right? So I'm gonna do that now. Check out my axle cup. Destroyed. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Pretty bad. Oh no, oh no, I forgot fluid. Damn it. Ugh. All right guys, so I've been kind of scratching my head on this one for a little while now, and before I even take you guys underneath the car, this is my original broken axle that came out of the wagon when it broke in Bakersfield, right? And I threw one of the cups back on just to compare length to the insane wagon 3/4 extended axle. Okay, so this is bottomed out, this one's bottomed out. I'm gonna line it up plus or minus, right, about the same here, and 3/4 extended. So if you look, here's the tripod, the bearing, right? I'm gonna hold it like this. This is the tripod bearing, and this is the wagon, right? 3/4, I mean, according to the website, 3/4 extended. So the end of that shaft is right here, and I'm gonna go ahead and just show you guys the difference in gap, right? You guys see that? Okay, so stock wagon, insane. So down here we have the axle installed, left side 3-stripe rear axle, right? And I had everything all bolted up already, and then I took it apart, and then I threw it back on, trying to figure out what's going on. So let me show you guys my issue. If you look, axle boot not hyperextended, tripod inside the cup. Right now where my finger's at, the tripod is about halfway down, right? But the problem is the other end of the axle is not all the way in the hub. Let me show you guys, right? So when I extend this axle bottomed out in the hub, all right, can you guys see that? Bottomed out. The problem is my tripod bearing is right there. Right there, that little nub, that's the freaking tripod bearing. So it's not seated in the cup all the way, and I'm not entirely sure why it's like this, because this is the correct axle for this car, factory axle for this car, and it sticks out this much. And with it being like this, when you launch, it really puts stress on the outer perimeter of the cup and explodes it like that one right here, right? So I'm not entirely sure why it's like this for OEM axle and an OEM differential in a wagon that came all-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive. Although this car is front-wheel drive, I made provisions up there to mount the differential, but this is a lot sticking out of the cup. And this was the reason why I bought the 3/4 extended axle for the CRX. So I think this is like, not entirely sure how I'm gonna go about situating the bearing sitting in the cup, but I think what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna experiment a little bit. I'm gonna go back to the storage, grab my right side insane axle, which is good, and then I have the blown left side on the table, and I want to take the cups off the good right side and stick it on the left side and use the insane 3/4 extended on this side in hopes of putting the bearings in the cup more. So I'm gonna go ahead and just tinker with that real quick. This is the OEM axle shaft that came out of the car originally, and I lined up the circlip to the insane one, and this is the 3/4 extended. You can see now without the boot the difference. I'm hoping that using this one is going to push the tripod into the cup further. So I have my this is the right side from my CRX insane shaft, and I'm going to take the inner and outer cups off of it to put onto this shaft, a longer one. The OEM stuff does not fit on the insane. The tripod bearings are bigger in size. I'm not entirely sure about this end. It looks like it'll work, but I don't want to take apart one from, you know, the other. So I figured let's just take the insane, put it on the insane, keep the OEM to the OEM. So I'm gonna go ahead and just switch all of this out. I do got new boots. This is a messy job with the grease packs and everything, so I'm just gonna go ahead and knock it out. So after a million up and down, we have the stock wagon axle out right there, and I guess that's just a spare for something, I don't know. But we have the insane 3/4 inch extended wagon rear axle installed. So let me show you guys this real quick. So light on, we can see axle nut is fully tightened down, right? And there's like a little play, which is normal, but earlier I feel like the circlip is not securing the shaft into the CV, because I had about an inch of play, and then I kind of shoved it that way to get the circlip to lock into the CV joint, and it's not moving. Even if the shaft was shoved all the way the other way, The bearing on the tripod sits on the edge of the cup instead of protruding out of the cup like the last axle. So right now, because circlip is in place, no play in the axle, the tripod bearing, it's like, let me see here, it's like over here in the cup opposed to it being over here last time. So 3/4 inch extended shaft brings the tripod further in, and because the car is lowered, the axle is like angled like this, so the shaft is not going to bottom out to the end of the cup, hopefully. So this is definitely a solution right now, but we won't know how this axle performs until I want to say the track, because I don't want to test in front of the house and then break an axle and then, you know, be out of an axle again, right? As far as that goes, we have an axle back in the wagon, and it is ready for race wars-ish. It's still another month or so out. So for the most part, we have all 4 axles back in the wagon. The other part that I wanted to do in this video was to swap my exhaust system out. This one has a thermal R&D research, sorry for the glare, thermal research exhaust, 3-inch. And when this car was all motor K20, it was pretty quiet. And when it opened up, wide open throttle, it wasn't that loud. It wasn't as loud as the KRX. Now, because the wagon is turboed, the turbo is kind of like a silencer. So it doesn't really matter which exhaust, some exhaust you put on a turbo car, it will always tone it down. So I think what I'm gonna do is I gotta flip the KRX around, pull the vibrant off of this car to weld onto this car, take the thermal here and slap it on there. This car also has 2 resonators, so hopefully the thermal will be much more quieter. But do I want to do it right now? I don't know. Because I have to switch the KRX around to work on the exhaust system, I figured I'd bring all the CRXs out, line them up, and do a quick little photo op, only because I'm probably not going to get this opportunity again later down the road once I start getting rid of these cars one by one. So giveaway CRX, guys, we're going to get back on it soon. I did start putting the door panel in it the other day, one side at least, and it looks good. Can't really see it on the camera, but it's starting to flow with the interior. I just need to put that one on and get some new speakers, but interior is almost done. This car needs a new battery, but it also needs a drive shaft so I can build the exhaust system. But for the most part, runs tuned. This car worked on the exhaust system, the whole entire video series on it. You guys probably seen up to date now, right? And then La Ponda just waiting for suspension stuff, and it's pretty much gonna go after that. So right now, back to musical chairs. KRX goes up first backward. Giveaway car behind it, probably backward as well too, so I can work on the other door panel later. And then red CRX, and then La Ponda back on the dirt. So before I even decide to do the exhaust, I want to make sure we have length here. So the thermal is 16 across. The problem is this thing is welded like maxed out on the inlets and outlets, right? And the reason why I say that is because I don't want to cut here and then have a ton of welds on there. Like there's a ton of welds right there. Kind of looks ugly, but I mean, if you paint it black, you're really not gonna notice it. This side on the vibrant, we have 15. 15. But see, this side has a long neck on it, so I can cut there and add another weld. Not a big deal, right? But 15, 16. All right, let me figure out what I want to do. Honestly, guys, this is what I'm thinking right now. I really don't want to cut the exhaust off, especially the wagon, because of this side. I really don't have any straight room to play with because this thing curves underneath the subframe, right? Not typically over the LCA like your other front-wheel drive cars. So I don't want to make a mistake and cut this at a weird angle and then you know, having to add or take away or trim to fit, especially because underneath the car, you guys know I'm not really a fan of working underneath the car, getting up and down a million times. I was going to cut it. I already kind of started it, but I didn't penetrate through, so I decided to not cut the thermal off. So I was talking to Pinche Enrique, and I was asking him about his thermal exhaust on his DA, except he cut the thermal box off and installed a vibrant muffler, and he said that it toned it down a lot. Regular driving, city driving, street driving. And I told him I have the vibrant too, but mine is a street power box. I've had it in all of my cars, and the KRX is probably the only one that's super loud with it, right? Enrique has a different one. He has a like stainless box, like full silver, not the black one, and he said they quiet down a lot. So I'm thinking about just getting the new muffler and then switching it out with that one and see what it does, rather than cut off the thermal from this car, which is already set up. And you guys know I had exhaust issue clearance with the drive shaft before, so I don't want to cut it off, misalign, and then it rattles on the exhaust, especially because I'm about to drive it to Race Wars, right? So I'm going against my idea of cutting the exhaust, welding the wagon into the KRX back into. I think I'm not going to do it today. One major reason, guys, it is freaking hot as balls, and it's going to be hot through the entire week as well too. I was sweating, and I've been wiping my face down with water just to cool myself down, because man, as soon as I came out here with the long pants, I already felt it. So no exhaust work today, but you guys did see I have a box underneath right here, and I am actually going to just finish off this video with unpacking this. So this package right here came from Dan Sosa. We kind of spoke on Instagram a little bit. He has a car for me that I can have. He wants me to save it, restore it, do something with it, and he has title in hand and everything. I'm considering it, except he's from Escondido. That's like 6, almost 7 hours away from me. It's kind of far to go tow a car. It's a complete car, but he kind of took it apart to clean it himself, and I guess he didn't get far with it. Not entirely sure why the car doesn't turn on, but this car is there for me if I want it. So he decided to send me some things. I don't know what's all in here, but I can hear those are head studs. Definitely head studs, because you know, if you guys don't know, I mess with a lot of head studs, so I know that sound when I hear it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go ahead and just open this up, see what's inside. Holy cow. This is an OBD0 to OBD1 conversion. Not entirely sure what brand it is, but definitely will come in clutch for one of those quick budget cars that I build, or quick fixer-uppers. I say this all the time. Whatever you guys send to the P.O. box, I most definitely try my best to put it to use. And this right here is definitely gonna come in clutch for actually a couple of cars lined up that I want to build here on my channel. And this already tells you guys it's going to be an OBD0 car. This right here looks to be OBD2 engine harness, OBD2 alternator, OBD2 injector. This can be an Integra or an EK, but the simplest way to tell is the IAT sensor. This is possibly an Integra because the IAT sensor is a circle type, and it looks to be on the manifold, where the EK is on the intake tube. This is an OBD102 sensor, looks to be brand new. This will come in clutch for the cars that are running stock ECUs. And we have a weird looking square ECU, P72. I want to say these small little ECUs are JDM. So this may be a JDM P72 ECU. I've never seen one of this in person before. That's kind of crazy. Over here we have another OBD1 P28. Why'd you send this to me? These are like gems, dude. You could have sold this. Big thank you for this, man. Definitely gonna put this in use. If not, I know my buddy Nomis can use it, and I don't know if it's a virgin or not, because I see a couple screws taken off here, but I mean, I guess we'll look at it later. This right here are D16 head studs, ARP head studs, and it is open. Oh, not brand used, brand spanking new, dude. ARP head studs for D16. Yo, much appreciated. So I think I know why he sent those head studs. I know I told you guys a lot of times before that I don't really like messing with single cams. I always said that I don't want to waste the time with single cams because they take a lot to make some decent power. And with the amount of money to put into a D series, a stock B series probably make the same power, if not more. And if you put the same amount of money into a B series, you make a ton more powers. That's just my, like, I wouldn't say my argument with it. It's just, that's how I see it. You get transmission options when you go from D to B. You can gain more power with the bigger bore and stuff like that. That's why I don't really waste time with the single cam. But I posted on Instagram the other day talking about if I should do a D series, just to do a D series for you guys for viewing pleasures. And the vote was crazy. The vote was like 248 to 60 no on D series. So I guess Dan sent me the ARP's kind of a kicker for me just to get started on it. The junkyard haven't really gotten any D16 Z6 like at all. And I also threw the idea of doing a mini VTEC, like mini-me D15 D16 non-VTEC blocks with VTEC head added on, which is like a Y8 or a Z6. The goal was to cover the whole entire single cam thing in one shot, you know, single cam, mini-me VTEC, boost, piston rods, and all that good jazz. I don't know, don't quote me on it, guys. I'm not entirely sure when I'll start on the D series stuff, but it may be a potential build content for the channel here later down the road. So I am gonna wrap up the video right here, guys. I hope you enjoyed the little updates on the wagon. We're getting this thing ready for Race Wars, which is going to creep up really quickly. The KRX, I'm probably gonna flip it back because I'm gonna be doing some more work under the hood. I need the car to be flipped around to kind of stay away from the sun, you know what I mean? Definitely gonna work on the giveaway car since it is parked backward and I have access to all the passenger stuff. I'm talking too much. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to leave this video a thumbs up. And if you guys wanna stick around for the updates to come, because the KRX, I just drove it today. So that means the KRX is gonna get further updates coming here real soon. Alignment, dyno tune, all that good jazz. If you guys wanna see all that, hit the subscribe button. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.